Water covers more than 70% of our planet, and beneath the surface lives one of the most diverse and ancient groups of animals on Earth, fish. Today, we're diving into how fish breathe underwater, how they grow and reproduce, the incredible variety of species that exist, and how human activity is reshaping their world. And most importantly, what we can do to protect them. How fish breathe underwater. Let's start with one of the most fascinating questions. How do fish breathe underwater? Unlike humans, fish don't have lungs. Instead, they use gills, which are thin, feathery structures packed with tiny blood vessels. When a fish opens its mouth, water flows in and passes over the gills. Inside that water is dissolved oxygen, much less than what's in the air, but enough for a fish to survive. As the water moves across the gill membranes, oxygen diffuses into the bloodstream, and carbon dioxide diffuses out. It's a beautifully efficient system. Some fish actively pump water by opening and closing their mouths, while others, like many sharks, must keep swimming so that water continuously flows over their gills. This process is so efficient that fish can extract up to 80% of the oxygen in the water passing over their gills. Compare that to humans, who extract only about 25% of the oxygen from each breath. The life cycle of fish life cycles vary widely, but most follow a similar pattern. Many species begin as eggs, often laid in clusters or hidden in plants, gravel, or coral. Once the eggs hatch, the young fish, called fry, are tiny, fragile, and vulnerable. They spend their early days feeding on microscopic organisms. As they grow, they become juveniles, learning to hunt, avoid predators, and navigate their environment. Eventually, they reach adulthood, where they reproduce and continue the cycle. For example, salmon hatch in fresh water, migrate to the ocean, then return, sometimes hundreds of kilometers, to the exact stream where they were born. Eels travel thousands of kilometers across the Atlantic to spawn in the Sargasso Sea. Clownfish begin life as males, and the dominant one transforms into a female. Fish life cycles are shaped by instinct, environment, and sometimes incredible journeys. Biological classifications. One jawless fish, Agnatha. These are the most primitive fish. Think lampreys and hagfish. They have no jaws, no scales, and a simple skeleton. 2. Cartilaginous fish. This group includes sharks, rays, and skates. Their skeletons are made of cartilage, not bone. They're powerful swimmers and often predators. 3. Bony fish, Osteiches. This is the largest group by far. Everything from goldfish to tuna to seahorses, they have true bones, swim bladders for buoyancy, and make up the majority of fish species on Earth. Freshwater and saltwater fish. Freshwater and saltwater fish live in very different worlds. Freshwater fish. These fish live in lakes, rivers, and streams. The water around them has very little salt, so their bodies constantly absorb water. To survive, they produce a lot of urine and actively retain salt. Saltwater fish. These fish live in oceans, where the water is full of salt. Their bodies naturally lose water, so they drink large amounts of seawater and excrete excess salt through their gills. Some species like salmon are anadromous, meaning they can live in both environments by adjusting their internal chemistry as they migrate. Fish are the most diverse group of vertebrates on the planet. Scientists have identified over 34,000 species, and new ones are discovered every year. They range from tiny 8mm minnows to the massive whale shark, which can grow longer than a school bus. This diversity is a sign of how adaptable fish are, but it also means they face many different threats. Human impact and pollution. Unfortunately, fish populations around the world are declining. Human activity plays a major role. Pollutions, such as plastic waste, breaks down into microplastics that fish ingest. Chemicals from factories, farms, and cities contaminate waterways. Oil spills suffocate marine life and destroy habitats. Overfishing. Habitat destruction. Wetlands, coral reefs, and mangroves, critical fish nurseries are all disappearing. Climate change. Rising temperatures alter migration patterns, reduce oxygen levels, and bleach coral reefs. These pressures create a chain reaction that affects not only fish, but entire ecosystems and, ultimately, humans. What we can do to protect fish? Despite the challenges, there's hope. Here are steps that make a real difference. Reduce plastic use and support cleanup efforts. Choose sustainable seafood certified by Responsible Fisheries. Protect wetlands, rivers, and coral reefs through conservation programs. Thanks for watching.